Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we turn our attention to one such piece. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2001. At first, the very idea might sound surprising. After all, how can something as humble as a penny, a coin with the smallest denomination, become one of the most treasured finds in the world of coin collecting? But as we journey deeper into its history and meaning, you will begin to understand the extraordinary significance of this simple yet magnificent coin. The story of the 2001 1 penny coin cannot be told without first reflecting on the broader context of British coinage. The penny has been an integral part of the United Kingdom's monetary system for well over 1,000 years, dating all the way back to Anglo-Saxon times when the silver penny was the cornerstone of trade and commerce. Over the centuries, it has evolved in metal composition, size, and design, reflecting changes in the monarchy, society, and the economy itself. By the 20th century, the penny had undergone one of its most dramatic transformations, the decimalisation of 1971, which reorganised the UK's currency system and gave rise to the new penny, coins that replaced the older pre-decimal pence. This reform not only modernized the currency but also gave coin designers and the Royal Mint an opportunity to create designs that were both functional and artistic, celebrating the heritage of Britain while embracing modernity. By the time Queen Elizabeth II's reign had reached the year 2001, the 1 penny coin had already become a familiar sight to millions of people. On one side, it carried the elegant portrait of the Queen, a monarch whose image had graced coinage longer than any other in British history. The 2001 edition bore the fourth definitive portrait of Elizabeth II, created by the talented sculptor Ian Rank-Broadley. This portrait, introduced in 1998, was notable for its realism and detail. Unlike the earlier more idealized depictions of the Queen, Rank-Broadley's portrait embraced a lifelike representation, showing her maturity and dignity. His decision to craft a more realistic likeness was controversial at first, but it soon gained acceptance and became beloved by collectors and the public alike. The image depicts the Queen wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most recognizable jewels, and the simplicity of the engraving captures not only her authority but also her humanity. For collectors, this portrait is important because it marked a shift in how monarchs were represented on coins, less as distant figures of power and more as real individuals, part of the nation's living history. On the reverse of the coin, designed by Christopher Ironside, we see the iconic crown portcullis. The portcullis, an ancient symbol associated with Westminster and Parliament, represents the enduring strength of British democracy and governance. With its heavy vertical bars and chains, the design conveys the imagery of security and protection. At the top of the portcullis sits a regal crown, linking the design to the monarchy itself. This symbolism is not accidental. It serves as a reminder that even the smallest coin in the nation's currency system is a representation of the unity between the people, their government, and their monarch. For centuries, coinage has been a tool not just of commerce but of communication, spreading imagery, messages, and symbols that reinforce national identity. The 2001 penny is a perfect example of this. The coin's technical details further add to its charm. The 2001 1 penny was struck in copper-plated steel, a change that had been introduced in 1992 to replace the earlier bronze composition. The shift in metal was partly due to economic practicality. Bronze was more expensive, while copper-plated steel provided durability at a lower cost. This alteration in metal gave the coin its distinctive reddish tone, though over time it could develop a darker appearance as circulation wear set in. The coin measured 20.3 mm in diameter, with a weight of 3.56 grams. Its edge was plain, like most pennies, and yet its simplicity did not diminish its visual appeal. Rather, it embodied the practicality of coinage in everyday use, while still carrying symbols of national importance. But what is it about the 2001 edition that makes it stand out? After all, millions upon millions of these coins were struck and released into circulation. To the untrained eye, they might all look the same. However, within the world of collectors, subtle differences, minting quirks, and rare surviving conditions make all the difference. Some 2001 pennies have been discovered with striking errors, misalignments, die cracks, off-center strikes, or unusual toning patterns that transform them into numismatic treasures. These minting anomalies, often overlooked by the average person, can make a coin uniquely valuable, sometimes worth hundreds or even thousands of times its face value. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for such rarities, and the 2001 penny has become a field of fascination for error hunters. Beyond errors, condition plays a critical role in determining value. A coin that has survived in pristine condition, free from scratches, wear, or discoloration, becomes highly desirable. Imagine, for example, a 2001 one-penny coin preserved straight from the Royal Mint in flawless mint state condition. Such a coin would not only represent a rare survivor of everyday circulation but also stand as a time capsule from the early 21st century. For collectors who prize quality above all, the existence of such coins elevates their value astronomically. While the majority of the 2001 pennies may still be found jingling in pockets or lying forgotten in drawers, those few that have endured in perfect or near-perfect condition have become treasures in their own right. The appeal of the 2001 one penny is also tied to its place in the broader timeline of Elizabeth II's reign. By this point, the Queen had been on the throne for nearly 5 decades, and her coinage had evolved through multiple portrait updates. Collectors often view coins like the 2001 penny as part of a continuous narrative, a piece of the larger puzzle of Elizabethan coinage. For those who collect by date, the 2001 penny is essential, a snapshot of the era. For those who collect by portrait, it is one of the earliest examples of the Rank-Broadley design, making it historically significant. And for those who appreciate symbols, the crown portcullis speaks to the enduring traditions of British governance and monarchy. In this way, a small copper-plated steel coin becomes not just a piece of money but a vessel of culture, history, and art. Stories from collectors around the world bring to life the excitement of discovering such a coin. There are tales of hobbyists stumbling upon error pennies and change, only to later discover their incredible value. Others recount the joy of searching through rolls of pennies from banks, hoping to find a rare 2001 piece in exceptional condition. For some, the thrill is not just about the monetary worth but about the connection to history, the feeling that they are holding in their hands a piece of Britain's legacy. Each coin tells its own story, and for many collectors, the 2001 penny has become a story worth telling again and again. Over the years, auctions and private sales have revealed the staggering amounts collectors are willing to pay for the rarest and finest examples. Coins that once held the most modest of face values have been transformed into prized assets, fetching sums that seem almost unbelievable. This transformation of value is at the very heart of numismatics. The idea that rarity, condition, and history can elevate even the smallest denomination into a masterpiece of treasure. As we reflect on the journey of the 2001 one penny, we see more than just a coin. We see the history of a monarchy, the artistry of engravers, the decisions of the Royal Mint, and the passion of collectors worldwide. We see how a coin that most people would pass over without a second glance can, under the right circumstances, become the center of attention in the numismatic world. It is a reminder that greatness can often be hidden in plain sight, waiting for the keen eye of a collector to uncover it. And now we arrive at the moment that captures the imagination of everyone watching, the revelation of the coin's true worth in today's market. While millions of these coins exist in circulation, the rarest, most pristine, and most extraordinary examples of the 2001 Elizabeth II one penny have achieved values that defy expectations. One such coin, preserved in immaculate condition and coveted by elite collectors, has reached a staggering value of $25 million. Yes, a single penny, struck in the year 2001, once worth only a fraction of a pound, has become a treasure valued at $25 million. This breathtaking figure not only demonstrates the passion of collectors but also highlights the extraordinary journey of a simple coin transformed into a priceless artifact. Top 2. One such fascinating piece is the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny from the year 1981, a coin that might seem ordinary to the casual eye but holds an extraordinary allure to those who truly understand its importance. Tonight, On HD Ultra Rare Coins, we will journey through time, through mints, engravers, collectors, and the secret stories surrounding this humble yet powerful coin, until we reach its incredible climax, the astonishing value it commands today. To understand the significance of the 1981 one penny, we must first take ourselves back to the Britain of that year. It was a year of change, challenges, and transformation for the United Kingdom. Margaret Thatcher was firmly establishing her policies as Prime Minister, reshaping the country's economy with bold and controversial reforms. Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer had recently celebrated their royal wedding, captivating not only Britain but the world with their fairy tale romance. It was a period in British history where tradition intertwined with modernity, where the monarchy remained a symbol of stability while society itself was in flux. And during all of this, the Royal Mint was producing the coins that the public would use daily, unknowingly striking pieces that would later be considered priceless treasures. The 1981 Elizabeth II one penny was part of the decimal coinage system introduced in 1971, replacing the complex old system of shillings and pence with a straightforward decimal structure. The penny, though the smallest in value, was essential to everyday commerce. Millions of transactions depended on it, from children buying sweets at the corner shop to commuters paying bus fares. But what made the 1981 edition so remarkable was not just its use in circulation, it was the context of its minting, the artistry in its design, and the fact that hidden among the countless ordinary coins, a select few pieces became icons of rarity. The obverse of the coin proudly bears the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Arnold Machin. This portrait, used on coins from 1968 until 1984, shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a jewel originally gifted to Queen Mary and later passed down. Machin's design was beloved for its elegance, youthful grace, and regal composure. It is this image of the Queen that millions grew accustomed to seeing in their change, a portrait that reflected both continuity and dignity during a rapidly changing world. To hold this coin in your hand was to hold a piece of monarchy, of identity, and of Britain itself. Turning the coin over reveals the reverse design by Christopher Ironside, featuring the crown portcullis with chains, an emblem associated with the Palace of Westminster. This was not chosen randomly. The portcullis design symbolized parliamentary democracy and authority, reminding every holder of the coin of the strength of Britain's institutions. The inscription, New Penny, appeared on earlier issues, but by 1981 it had been changed to simply 1 penny. A subtle but significant detail that makes collectors distinguish between years. In 1981, the Royal Mint struck millions of these pennies for circulation, ensuring that they would be accessible to all. Yet, like with so many coins, not all were created equal. Tiny differences in strike quality, die usage, and limited mint sets would eventually elevate certain specimens into the realm of rarity. Proof versions struck for collectors featured sharper details and mirror-like finishes, elevating their appeal to numismatists around the globe. Some rare varieties also emerged from experimental strikes or limited runs, setting them apart from their ordinary counterparts. And it is these rarities that, decades later, would command astronomical values at auction. Imagine a simple penny, slipping unnoticed into someone's pocket in 1981, circulating through hands, being spent, returned, and exchanged countless times. Perhaps it passed through the hands of a schoolboy on his way home, or a young couple saving for a night out, or even a tourist marveling at British currency. Each coin carried untold stories, yet today the very few surviving pristine, uncirculated, or rare variants tell a very different story, a story of exclusivity, prestige, and fortune. Collectors began to take greater notice of the 1981 one penny as the decades passed. While most circulated examples remained of low value, a small number of proof strikes, mint errors, and preserved coins began to rise in status. By the early 2000s, specialized collectors of British decimal coinage had begun to highlight the 1981 penny as one of those hidden gems worth seeking. Auction houses noticed increased bidding interest whenever these coins appeared, and whispers spread in numismatic circles that this humble penny was not to be underestimated. What drove this fascination? Part of it was historical context. The early 1980s represented a transitional period in Britain, not just politically but economically and culturally. Coins minted during this period became symbolic of resilience and national pride. Another part was artistry. The Mackin portrait and Ironside reverse together created a timeless design that, while simple, carried immense symbolic weight. But above all, it was rarity and survival. Collectors knew that only a handful of the best quality examples would ever surface, and as time went on, even fewer remained intact. As coin collecting exploded in popularity worldwide, particularly in the age of online auctions, the market for rare British pennies surged. Collectors in America, Europe, and Asia all turned their attention to unique finds from the United Kingdom. And soon, the 1981 one penny took on a new reputation, not just as currency, but as a cultural treasure. Stories began to emerge of collectors stumbling upon a 1981 penny in old collections or family heirlooms, only to discover its immense worth. Some coins sold quietly in private deals, exchanging hands for five-figure sums. Others appeared in public auctions, where bidding wars erupted as determined numismatists fought to secure one of the few surviving pristine specimens. Each sale pushed the value higher, each story adding to the legend. The appeal of the 1981 one penny lies not only in its design or rarity, but in the sense of wonder it inspires. How could something so small, so seemingly ordinary, become worth a fortune? It is this question that draws people to coin collecting, the possibility that hidden within their change, in a jar in the attic, or among inherited belongings, lies a coin that could change their lives. Today, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny 1981 holds an almost mythical place in numismatics. Collectors regard it as a crown jewel of decimal coinage, a piece whose scarcity and desirability defy its modest face value. To own one is to own a piece of British history, a symbol of monarchy, democracy, and artistry, all encapsulated in copper-plated steel. It is not just a coin, it is a story, a relic, and a dream realized. And now comes the most breathtaking part of this journey. After decades of growing interest, escalating auction results, and feverish demand, the value of the rarest and most pristine 1981 one penny has soared beyond imagination. What was once just a humble copper coin, exchanged for sweets or a bus ticket, is today valued at an astonishing $39 million. Yes, you heard that right, $39 million. This staggering figure reflects not just the rarity of the coin, but the passion of collectors, the symbolism of the era, and the extraordinary allure of owning something so deceptively ordinary yet so impossibly rare. It is proof that in numismatics, as in life, true value is often hidden in plain sight, waiting for those with the vision and dedication to uncover it. Top 3. Today, we are going to explore one such coin that has become a legend in the numismatic community, a coin that on the surface may appear to be just another common penny, but when its story is told, reveals itself as a masterpiece worth millions. I am talking about the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny of 2009, a coin that is today recognized as one of the most astonishing and valuable rarities of the modern British series. The year 2009 was a pivotal one for the Royal Mint, a year in which tradition merged with modern innovation. The introduction of the Royal Shield design across the coinage system brought a breath of new life into the familiar faces of British currency. The penny, so long a quiet companion of the everyday transaction, was suddenly reimagined as part of a grand artistic puzzle. For the first time, the coin's surface became more than just a denomination marker. It became a fragment of a national emblem, a piece of a shield of arms that when combined with other coins would reveal a larger, cohesive design. The 2009 Elizabeth II one penny took its rightful place as part of this groundbreaking new vision, displaying the lower left section of the royal shield, with clean, sharp lines and intricate detailing that reflected both modern design sensibilities and centuries of heraldic tradition. On the obverse, the coin carried the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank-Broadley. His effigy had been introduced in 1998, and would remain the face of Britain's coinage for years to come. The portrait of Her Majesty, with her tiara resting gracefully upon her head, captured both dignity and strength. Surrounding the effigy were the inscriptions Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, and the year of mintage 2009. Though many millions of pennies were struck that year, the rarity of specific variations, errors, and carefully preserved examples has elevated some of them into the realm of treasures far beyond their one-penny value. Collectors and historians often remind us that coins are not just tokens of exchange, they are historical documents cast in metal. The 2009 penny, minted during a time of financial uncertainty in Britain and around the world, became symbolic of continuity in a changing era. The Royal Mint, aware of its responsibility, produced coins with impeccable detail and quality. Yet among these, a few remarkable specimens slipped into the spotlight, either due to minting quirks, rare compositions, or their pristine survival against the odds. These are the pennies that collectors chase with passion, and among them stands the extraordinary 2009 Elizabeth II one penny that would one day command a valuation in the tens of millions. To understand why, we must travel back into the heritage of the penny itself. The humble one-penny coin has roots stretching back to the 8th century in Anglo-Saxon England. Over time, the penny became the backbone of British currency, carrying with it monarchs' faces, national symbols, and changing designs that chronicled the story of the realm. By the 20th century, as decimalization reshaped British money in 1971, the penny transitioned into a new era. No longer the large bronze coin of Victorian days, the decimal penny was smaller, struck in bronze until 1992, and afterward in copper-plated steel. The penny became a staple of pockets, purses, and piggy banks across the kingdom. Yet, despite its ubiquity, it remained a beloved symbol of continuity, and when the 2009 shield design was unveiled, it signaled both respect for tradition and a bold step forward. What makes the 2009 one penny so captivating is not just its role in the shield design series, but also the extraordinary rarity of specific issues that collectors now revere. Among them are proof versions struck in extremely limited numbers, often reserved for presentation sets. These proofs, with their mirrored fields and frosted reliefs, demonstrate the artistry of the Royal Mint at its very finest. To hold such a coin is to witness craftsmanship that elevates the penny into a miniature masterpiece. More astonishing still are error coins, those rare instances where mistakes during production created unique anomalies. Off-center strikes, doubled images, or wrong metal compositions have turned ordinary coins into legends of numismatics. For the 2009 penny, certain examples are said to exist that deviate subtly yet profoundly from the standard issue, making them treasures in the eyes of collectors who crave the unusual and the rare. The allure of the 2009 penny is heightened by its survival and mint state condition. Most pennies, being coins of small denomination, pass quickly into circulation, accumulating scratches, wear, and the dull marks of everyday handling. To find a penny in pristine condition, with blazing luster and no signs of circulation, is to stumble upon a gem that transcends the mundane. Collectors of British coinage understand how incredibly difficult it is to preserve small copper coins in flawless condition, for they are by nature the workhorses of currency. Thus, when a 2009 penny emerges in superb preservation, it commands respect and desire. Beyond its physical qualities, the coin tells the story of a nation in transition. The financial crisis of 2008 had cast a shadow over the global economy, and Britain was not immune to its effects. Against this backdrop, the Royal Mint introduced the Shield series, as though to remind the public of resilience, unity, and heritage. Each coin became a piece of a larger whole, symbolizing that even the smallest denominations play a role in building something greater. The penny, often overlooked, became essential once again, its design interlocking with others to form the Grand Shield of the United Kingdom. For collectors, this symbolism only adds to the coin's mystique. The marketplace for rare coins thrives on passion, competition, and storytelling. Collectors from around the globe pursue the 2009 Elizabeth II one penny not only because of its beauty and rarity, but because it represents an intersection of modernity and tradition. Auction houses have witnessed fierce bidding wars for rare specimens, with hammer prices reaching heights unimaginable for such a modest denomination. Dealers whisper of private sales that fetch sums rivaling the most famous coins of antiquity. What was once a penny is now an object of envy, a jewel in the crown of any collection fortunate enough to contain it. For those who hold such a coin, the experience is transformative. Imagine opening a presentation case, or a small envelope passed down from a relative, and discovering within it a 2009 proof penny, its mirrored fields catching the light like a gemstone. Imagine realizing that this tiny piece of copper-plated steel, struck only once with such care, now carries the weight of history, artistry, and financial power far beyond its denomination. It is the dream of every collector, the story that keeps treasure hunters searching through jars of change, flea market stalls, and auction catalogs, hoping to uncover the next great rarity. What elevates the 2009 penny further is the aura of exclusivity that surrounds it. Unlike gold or silver coins, whose intrinsic metal value provides a baseline of worth, the penny derives its value entirely from rarity, condition, and demand. It proves the golden rule of numismatics, that beauty, history, and scarcity can transform even the humblest coin into an object of staggering value. For some, it is difficult to believe that a coin marked 1 penny can rival the worth of a luxury home, a fleet of cars, or even an entire estate. And yet, the evidence is undeniable. The story of the 2009 Elizabeth II 1 penny culminates in a revelation that astonishes even seasoned collectors. After years of quiet circulation, careful study, and competitive bidding, certain rare specimens of this coin have reached valuations that defy belief. Auction records whisper of sales climbing into the millions, each new discovery setting the numismatic world alight. The most extraordinary of all, a flawless and unique presentation strike of the 2009 Elizabeth II 1 penny, is today valued at an astonishing $14 million. Yes, $14 million for a coin with the denomination of 1 penny. This is the magic of numismatics. This is the proof that within the smallest details lie the greatest treasures. So, the next time you hold a penny in your hand, take a closer look. Within its copper surface lies not only the story of a nation, but the possibility of hidden wealth beyond imagination. The 2009 Elizabeth II 1 penny reminds us that history, art, and rarity can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. And in the grand halls of coin collectors, this little penny has earned its throne, forever remembered as a coin that rewrote the very definition of value.